Raid tonight at 8 p.m., right? I'll be there.
Yep. See you then.
All right, raid invites going out. Let's get this going. Where is everyone? We have 6 people.
Half the raid team isn't responding to invites. Their status shows offline or busy.
That's weird. Blow It, our main tank, and Divine Mist, our healer. They're never late. Let me check their characters. They're all ungilded, all of them. What the hell?
Check the server guild list. There's a new guild that just formed today.
Phoenix Rising. That wasn't here yesterday. Let me check who's in it. It's all of them. Our best tank, Blow It. Our healer, Divine Mist. And our top 3 DPS, Backstabber, Night Slash, and Slighted Soul. 15 of our raiders are in this new guild.
Look at the guild leader. It's Blow It.
Dusted Waste. But they were just in our officer meeting yesterday. They didn't say anything about leaving.
They planned this. This wasn't spontaneous. They coordinated this mass exodus.
I'm checking our Discord. Half the channels are empty. People have left the server. They didn't say goodbye. They just vanished.
So what do? We can't raid with 6 people.
I don't even know. This guild has been together for 3 years. And half of it just walked out overnight.
They probably recruited in secret, had a plan, picked who they wanted to bring. This was organized.
But why? What did we do wrong? Why didn't they just talk to us?
There's a Reddit post. Dusted Waste posted an hour ago. Looking for members for new progression guild. Former top 50 raiders welcome.
They're recruiting publicly. They're not even hiding it. They just destroyed our guild and they're treating it like business.
What do we do now?
Welcome back to MMO Madness Behind the Troll Mask. I'm Boss Mode, and today we're talking about guild splits. When half or more of the roster walks out overnight in a coordinated mass exodus. These events can destroy communities that took years to build. Let's explore why they happen, how they are executed, and what happens afterwards. Before we get into the famous split stories, let's understand why they happen and what drives people to coordinate mass departures. Guild splits don't usually happen because of one incident. They're a result of accumulated frustration, poor communication, and a breaking point that triggers coordinated action. Let's look at some of the causes. Cause 1, leadership failure. The most common cause, leadership is making bad decisions and refusing feedback. Playing favorites with loot or opportunities and being absent or unavailable when needed. They create a toxic environment through their behavior and refusing to adapt to what the guild actually wants. Members and officers try to address issues. Leadership dismisses concerns or becomes defensive. Eventually, people decide the guild can't improve under current leadership, so they leave. This is a justified split, people leaving because staying means accepting unacceptable conditions. Cause number 2 is the direction disagreement. The guild wants to go in one direction and the leadership wants another. The casual guild going hardcore or vice versa. PvE guild shifting to PvP focus. Social guild becoming progression focused. And they change in schedule, rating days, or time and commitment. Half of the guild agrees with the new direction, half doesn't. Neither side will compromise. Eventually, one faction leaves to do things their way. Cause number 3, personality conflicts. Two strong personalities and leadership clash constantly. The guild fractures into camps supporting each person. Eventually, one side leaves and takes their supporters with them. This is often the messiest type because it's personal. People choose sides based on relationships rather than issues. Cause number 4, ambitious officers. Officers want to lead their own guilds. They see an opportunity. They've done most of the work while leadership takes credit. They think they can do better. They want the status and recognition of being the guild leader. They see the current guild as a recruitment pool for their new project. They organize secretly, recruit members, and launch their new guild by gutting the old one. This is the coup by exodus. They can't remove the leader, so they take the members instead. Cause number 5 is external poaching. A rival guild or recruiter deliberately targets another guild's members. They whisper key players with offers, promise better opportunity or environment. They coordinate timing so multiple people leave together. Sometimes offer in-game gold or real money incentives. This is hostile. The goal is to destroy the rival by stealing their roster. Cause number 6 is a drama explosion. A single incident creates a schism. That scandal involving leadership or the betrayal or breach of trust, public argument that forces people to pick sides, or a discovery of lies or manipulation. Half of the guild is appalled. Half defends or minimizes. The divide is irreconcilable. One side leaves. What makes splits different from normal attrition? Coordination. People don't just leave individually over time. They plan together, leave together, and often form a new guild together. Secrecy. Splits are usually planned in private. The target guild doesn't know until it happens. The scale. Not 1 or 2 people, but 30, 50, even 70% of the roster leaving simultaneously. Intentionality. This is deliberate destruction of the original guild, whether justified or not. Then there's the relationships. Guild splits destroy friendships. People who don't leave are seen as disloyal by those who do. People who do leave are seen as traitors by those who stay. So what is the psychology of participating in a split? For those leaving, there's the guilt about abandoning the community they helped to build, the excitement about fresh start without old problems, anxiety about whether it's the right choice, solidarity with others making the same decision, and the realization that they tried to fix things and couldn't. For those staying, there's betrayal and angry at those who left, confusion about what just happened, and the fear that the guild can't survive. There's also resentment towards those who organized the split, and self-doubt about whether they should have left too. For leadership that was left behind, shock and denial initially, then anger at the traitors who left, self-reflection about what they could have done differently, determination to rebuild or despair that is over, sometimes eventually admission that the split was deserved. Let's get into some of the infamous split stories, the mass exodus events that became legendary in their games and communities. The first story is the 40-man raid team exodus. This is from World of Warcraft during Vanilla. A guild was progressing through Molten Core with a 40-man raid team. Leadership had issues. Their loot council had heavily favored leadership friends. The raid spots prioritized by favoritism rather than performance, and the officers who were dead wait but couldn't be criticized. Guild leader who took credit for strategies developed by the raiders. The raid's main tank and 3 healers held a secret meeting. Over 2 weeks, they recruited 35 of the 40 raiders to a new guild they had formed in secret. On a Wednesday night, the guild leader logged in expecting raid night. 5 people showed up. 35 raiders had quit simultaneously, and they were now in a new guild raiding the same content. The original guild died immediately. The new guild became one of the server's top progression guilds. The old leadership tried to recruit and rebuild, but nobody wanted to join a guild that had that reputation. The split was coordinated perfectly. They'd picked who to recruit carefully, everyone except the leadership's closest friends and the worst performers. It was surgical removal of functional core. Story 2, the 3-way EVE split. This is from EVE Online. A major corporation had 3 directors who each wanted to take the court in different directions. Director A wanted to focus on PvP and territorial conquest. Director B wanted to focus on industry and wealth generation, and Director C wanted to focus on exploration and wormhole living. The CEO tried to balance all 3. It satisfied nobody. Each director started secretly recruiting core members to their vision. One day, the CEO logged in to find the corporation had split 3 ways. Director A left with 40 members to form a PvP-focused core. Director B left with 35 members to form an industrial core. And Director C left with 30 members to form a wormhole core. The original corporation was left with 20 members and the CEO. All 3 directors had been recruiting simultaneously without knowing the others were doing the same. The CEO disbanded the remains and quit EVE. All 3 corporations thrived initially, though only the industrial core still exists years later. This shows how multiple competing visions can destroy a community when no clear direction is chosen. Story number 3, the Officer Team's Secret Guild. This is from Final Fantasy. A free company had 5 officers who effectively ran everything, while the FC leader was mostly absent. What the FC leader didn't know, the officers had created a secret Discord and a secret Alt-FC 6 months earlier. They'd been building a replacement guild while still running the original. They recruited the best 30 members into the secret guild gradually. Hey, make an alt, we're doing casual content on Tuesdays. But it was actually integration into the new FC. When they were ready, all 5 officers and 30 members left the original FC in one night. They didn't take everyone, they had cherry-picked who they wanted. People who weren't recruited woke up to find their FC hollowed out. The FC leader was devastated. They trusted these officers completely. The officers had been actively managing the FC while secretly building its replacement. It was betrayal over months, not a spontaneous split. The old FC limped along for a while but never recovered. The new FC thrived. The officers felt justified. They'd done all the work, why shouldn't they lead? But the members who weren't chosen felt terrible. They'd been evaluated and found wanting. The split created clear desirable and undesirable tiers. Story number 4, the Poaching Campaign. This is from WoW. A rival guild decided to destroy a competitor by stealing their roster. They whispered key players offering better loot priorities, promised faster progression and better environment. They targeted specific roles the target guild depended on, coordinated so multiple people would transfer together. Over 2 weeks, they recruited 18 people from the target guild. The target leadership didn't realize until people started guild quitting in clusters. The gutted guild couldn't raid. They tried to recruit, but their reputation was damaged. That guild that got poached must have issues. They disbanded within a month. The poaching guild absorbed the members and did progress faster, but they'd earned a server reputation as vultures. Other guilds blacklisted them. Their own members worried about loyalty. This shows the dark side. Deliberate destruction of a rival through coordinated recruitment. It worked tactically, but created reputation damage. All right, story number 5, the scandal split. This is from Guild Wars 2. The guild leader was discovered to have been embezzling from the guild bank and having inappropriate relationships with multiple members while lying to each and faking cancer for sympathy and donations. When this all came out simultaneously, the guild exploded. Half the members immediately left in disgust. The other half either didn't believe it or thought the accusers were overreacting. Both factions formed new guilds. The believers created a guild based on transparency and accountability, and the defenders created a guild that welcomed the disgraced leader. The drama consumed the server for weeks. The Believers Guild thrived. The Defenders Guild died within months when more evidence surfaced proving the accusations were true. This split was justified and necessary. Nobody should stay in a guild with that leader, but it still destroyed the community and friendships. Here's our next story. The schedule change split. This is from WoW. A long-standing guild shifted raid times to accommodate new members. The new schedule worked better for 60% of the roster, but was impossible for 40%. The 40% who couldn't make the new times tried to negotiate. Leadership said the new schedule was final, majority rules. The 40% didn't fight it, they just left Emas and formed a new guild with the old schedule. Clean, professional, no drama. Just, we can't make these times, so we're forming our own guild. Both guilds survived. Some people even raided in both. It was an amicable split based purely on practical scheduling issues. This shows splits don't have to be destructive. When there's genuine incompatibility and both sides handle it maturely, splits can be healthy. This is our last story, the revenge split. This is from Final Fantasy. A popular main tank was kicked from a static for performance issues. The tank disagreed with the assessment and felt disrespected by how it was handled. The tank recruited 5 other members from the static to leave and form a new group. They specifically targeted people who were friends with them or had their own grievances. The original static couldn't replace 6 people and disbanded. The tank's new static struggled because they prioritized loyalty over skill and couldn't clear content. Both groups ended up worse. The revenge split destroyed the original static but didn't create something better. It was mutually assured destruction. This shows how personal grievances can drive splits that hurt everyone involved. Let's talk about how guild splits are actually organized and executed. This is the mechanics of mass exodus. Someone decides to create a new guild or leave for an existing one. They recruit a core group of trusted people, and this is done privately. They use secret Discord server and private messages, or use voice calls outside guild time, and sometimes encrypted channels. The organizers are people with influence, officers, popular raiders, and core personalities. They need people who can recruit others. Phase 2, the recruitment wave. Once a core is established, they approach additional members. We're concerned about the guild's direction. We're forming something new. Would you be interested? Or, this is confidential. We're seeing if there's interest. They're selective. Not everyone is recruited. This creates the in-group who's desired and out-group who isn't. The gauge loyalty is compatibility. Will this person keep the secret? Will they fit the new guild's vision? Phase 3, the coordination. Once enough people are committed, they coordinate timing. When to leave, usually just before raid time for maximum impact. And what to say, or whether to say nothing. And then whether to inform current leadership or ghost them. And whether to recruit publicly afterward. Some organizers inform leadership privately as a courtesy. Others just execute the split with no warning. Phase 4, the execution. On the chosen day, everyone guild quits simultaneously or in a rapid sequence. The new guild is revealed or joined. The departure is public. For those left behind, this is a shocking and traumatic experience. Half their guild just vanished. For those leaving, it's liberating, but also anxiety-inducing. Did they make the right choice? Phase 5, the aftermath. Both guilds deal with consequences. The abandoned guild must process a betrayal, decide whether to rebuild or disband. Recruit new members, hard when their reputation has been damaged, and address whatever issues caused the split. The new guild must prove they made the right choice and avoid the same problems that plagued the old guild. Deal with the guilt and second guessing from members and establish their own identity separate from the guild that they split from. The ethics of how it's done. More ethical approaches, attempting to address issues with leadership first, giving leadership a chance to improve, and being honest about intentions before leaving, and not actively recruiting, letting people choose independently, and splitting amicably over genuine incompatibility. Less ethical approaches. Secret recruitment for months while pretending everything is fine. Cherry-picking the good members and leaving the rest. Deliberate timing to maximize damage right before important content. And poaching for the purpose of destroying the original guild. Then there's spreading lies or exaggerations to justify the split. And then there's the gray area. Most splits fall somewhere in between. People try to fix things, get frustrated, and eventually organize an exit. The secrecy is necessary because announcing intentions would lead to immediate removal. The timing is about coordination, not malice. The selection is about compatibility, not cruelty. But even justified, ethical splits still destroy communities and hurt people left behind. What determines whether a guild survives a major split or dies? Let's look at the factors. Guilds that survive splits. Factor 1. Strong core remains. If key leadership and a critical mass of committed members stay, the guild can rebuild. You need enough people to function while recruiting. Factor 2. The issues get addressed. If the split was driven by specific problems and those problems get fixed, the guild can improve and recruit successfully. Factor 3. Quick, aggressive recruitment. Guilds that immediately recruit to replace lost members can survive. Waiting means dying slowly as remaining members lose hope. Factor 4. Reframing the narrative. Successful survivors reframe the split. We're better off without people who weren't committed, or this is a fresh start to do things right. Factor 5. Leadership steps up. Leaders who take responsibility, make changes, and actively work to rebuild can save the guild. Guilds that die after splits. Factor 1. Not enough critical mass. If too many people leave, there aren't enough to function. The remaining members trickle away rather than rebuild. Factor 2. The issues remain. If the problem that caused the split persists, recruitment fails and remaining members leave. The split was a symptom, not a cause. Factor 3. Demoralization. Leadership gives up. Remaining members feel like they got the bad ending. Nobody has energy to rebuild. Factor 4. Reputation damage. The server knows the guild got gutted. Why would I join a guild that just lost half their roster? Recruitment becomes impossible. Factor 5. Cascading departures. After the big split, more people leave in smaller waves. The guild slowly bleeds out over weeks or months. So what are the new guild's challenges? Just because the new guild starts strong doesn't mean it survives. Their first challenge, recruiting old problems. They bring the same people, same dynamics, and same issues. The problems they left follow them because they were a part of the culture. Challenge 2, guilt and second guessing. Members wonder if they made the right choice. Some quietly return to the old guild or join a third option. Challenge 3, overcompensation. Trying so hard not to be like the old guild that they overcorrect and create new problems. Challenge 4, expectation versus reality. The grass isn't always greener. The new guild has its own challenges, and the excitement of fresh start fades quickly. Challenge 5, external perception. Server sees them as the splitters or the guild that destroyed X. Reputation follows them. Many new guilds formed from splits fail within 6 months. The fresh start wasn't as fresh as they had hoped. Guild splits force difficult questions about loyalty. What do you owe the community you're in? When is leaving justified? Let's explore the ethics. Arguments that leaving is a justified action. Argument 1. You owe yourself first. You're playing a game for enjoyment. If the guild isn't serving your needs, you have no obligation to stay miserable out of loyalty. Argument 2. You can't fix everything. If you tried to address issues and leadership won't change, staying doesn't help anyone. Leaving might force necessary changes. Argument number 3. Communities can be toxic. Loyalty doesn't mean accepting abuse, toxicity, or incompetence. Sometimes leaving is self-care. Argument 4. Fresh starts are valid. You don't owe permanent loyalty to your first or current guild. Growth sometimes means moving on. Argument 5. Collective action is powerful. If many people leave together, it sends a message that can't be ignored. Individual departures might be dismissed, but mass exodus forces accountability. Arguments that mass splits are wrong. Argument 1. You made commitments. You committed to the guild, your raid team, and your friends. Abandoning them violates that commitment. Argument 2. Secret organizing is betrayal. Planning a split while pretending everything is fine is dishonest. If you're that unhappy, be honest about it. Argument 3. Collateral damage matters. Mass splits destroy guilds and hurt people who don't deserve it. The ends just justify the means. Argument 4. Work from within. You should try harder to fix issues before leaving. Mass exodus is the easy way out. Argument 5. Community versus the individual. Sometimes you tolerate imperfection for the good of the community. Not everything is about individual satisfaction. The nuanced reality. Both perspectives have validity. The ethics depend on context. Is this a casual social guild or a competitive team with performance expectations? Stakes matter. Attempt to fix. Did people genuinely try to address issues before leaving, or did they go straight to exit? The leadership response. If leadership is abusive, absent, or unresponsive, leaving is more justified than if they're trying but imperfect. Method of leaving. Honest, direct departure is more ethical than secret sabotage. And the care for collateral. Did leavers consider impact on people staying, or just prioritize their own interests? What do you actually owe? You owe honest communication about your concerns before leaving, respect for the time and effort others invested, consideration of impact on people who depend on you, and professional conduct during and after departure, not actively sabotaging what you're leaving. You don't owe eternal loyalty regardless of conditions. Staying in toxic or unfun situations out of guilt, or sacrificing your enjoyment for the community. Tolerating abuse or incompetence indefinitely and remaining silent about problems. The balance is treating people with respect while prioritizing your own well-being. Guild splits are among the most traumatic events in MMO communities. They can end years-long guilds in a single night. They destroy friendships and create lasting resentment. If you're organizing a split, do it ethically. Try to fix things first. Be honest about your intentions. Consider the people you're leaving behind. And make sure you're splitting for the right reasons, not just running from problems you'll recreate. If you're on the receiving end of a split, know that it says more about what wasn't working than about your worth. You can rebuild, or you can move on. Either is valid. Guilds are communities held together by voluntary association. When the association breaks down, splits happen. They're painful, but sometimes they're necessary. The question is whether you handle them with integrity or as weapons. Next week on MMO Madness Behind the Troll Mask, we're diving into event sabotage, running server-wide celebrations. You definitely don't want to miss it. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and support the podcast. And if you've been through a guild split on either side, email us at podcast@mmomadness.com. Until then, communicate honestly, value your communities, and remember, sometimes the healthiest thing is moving on. I'm Boss Mode, and thanks for listening.